I want to take a moment tonight to address something that came up in the video that I posted last night. Now, in that video, I talked about a lady that was in my gun shop looking to buy her first handgun because she was in fear for her safety because her ex-boyfriend was getting out of prison. Well, in that video, I was talking about how I think that people sometimes wait till the last moment and wait till it's too late to prepare for bad situations when they should prepare earlier. But in that video, several people came up and said something that really kind of bothered me, and I wanted to address that tonight. What a few people said was, great, she's going to be a statistic. She's going to be that person that buys a gun and doesn't have any training and hurts herself. And I'm like, why would she hurt herself just because she buys a gun? I don't like this whole mentality that if you don't get immediate training and you don't go out and learn from a professional that you can't handle a gun. I think that most adult people are more than capable of safely handling a firearm without advanced training, or any training at all, as a matter of fact. I think just common sense makes most responsible people safely able to handle a firearm. I mean, how hard is it to figure out that, bullets come out this end right here? And if you don't want bullets to come out that end, you don't pull this right here. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. And I have enough faith in most people to think they can figure that out. Now, I'm not saying training isn't great, because it is great. It's wonderful. Everyone should have training. I wish everyone had the opportunity to have training. If you ever get the opportunity to be trained, take it. But it isn't a requirement for owning a gun. And I don't like when people act like it is. When they act like if someone isn't trained by a professional, they're now dangerous because they have a firearm in their hands. That plays way too much into the anti-gun mentality, if you ask me. It's acting like guns are so dangerous that the average person can't handle them unless they're highly trained in how to handle that super dangerous item. Now, I'm not pretending guns aren't dangerous, because they are. They're dangerous in the hands of people that want to do wrong with them. But most people can handle them just fine. Most responsible, intelligent people can figure out how to handle a firearm safely. Because the reality is, most people are doing just that. They're buying guns without training, and they're not hurting themselves or anyone else with them. They're buying guns, taking them home, teaching themselves how to use them, learning how to use them with friends, and they're doing just fine. People aren't having rashes of shooting themselves or their children in the face because they didn't get trained before they bought their gun. That's just not how things are. It's not the reality. In fact, out of most of the negligent discharges I've seen, they've come from highly trained people, usually when they're training. So training isn't a guarantee against a mistake. It just makes us better able to use our firearms. And like I said, it is good to have basic safety training, but basic safety training isn't something you can't just teach yourself. You could very easily just teach yourself. If you're interested in getting into more advanced stuff, yeah, then more training the better. Just go for every bit of training you can get. But for the basics, I think most people can handle it. If they couldn't, we'd be seeing a lot more people shooting themselves, because the reality is, like I said, most people that go buy a gun don't get any training. In fact, most of the people in my mom's family own guns, and none of them have ever been trained, and they've done just fine. They haven't shot themselves. I'm the only one that shot myself, and I've been trained. Well, there was my one uncle that shot himself in the face, but that was intentional, so that doesn't count. So the very fact that people are going out and buying guns without training and they aren't shooting themselves kind of throws that whole thing to the wind. It kind of throws that whole idea that people can't safely handle guns until they're trained, just tosses it in the garbage, because people can safely handle firearms just based on their own abilities. So let's not keep playing into that mentality of, well, guns are so dangerous that you got to be specially trained to handle them, because I think that just helps the anti-gunners.